Nigeria is grappling with a rise in attacks by terror groups, especially in regions in the north. Over the weekend, 40 farmers and fishermen were killed by suspected Boko Haram ISWAP terrorists in Borno State. Before that, 2 police officers were killed by suspected terrorists also in Borno State. In Katsina, 21 people were also killed and several others declared missing after suspected bandits invaded a village there. This all comes as the fight against Lakurawa terrorists intensifies in the northwest. It has raised concerns about resurgent terrorist groups and Nigeria's seemingly unending war on terror. And now for more on these stories, let's bring in retired Air Commodore and security expert Abayomi Balogun. He joins us live here in the studio. Thank you so much for your time, Air Commodore. Well, the recent uptick in violence by Boko Haram and other insurgents groups in the northeast, including the northwest, is deeply concerning, especially with the, uprising with the Lakurawa and all of that. First, I would like to know what your thoughts are on the evolving security situation. Overall, how do you assess the government's overall counterinsurgency strategy?
Thank you very much. I've been saying this for a while, and I will still continue to say it, that we've been doing the same thing over and over again. And how do we expect to get a different result? It's been, they attack us, we counter them, we repel them, and then we relax, allowing them to go and replan, re-strategize, and come back at us. And it should be the other way around. It should be we pursuing them continuously until they lose the will to fight. But no, once we start achieving, they say black men cannot manage success. Once become successful, we lay back and think it's over when it is not over. Then those guys, because you can't kill all of them, you take some out and then some will survive, and then they replan, they re-strategize, and come back for you. So I kept saying that until we change that approach of defensive offensive, that is, we are always on the defensive. It is when they attack us that we now go on the offensive. We change that to continuous offensive, which I call relentless pursuit. We seek for them. We search for them. We will see them. They can't hide in Nigeria with the kind of equipment we have. And once you acquire them, you go after them continuously. We have done it in the past. So why won't we do it? That's why in the Northeast, when we are shouting Uhuru is over, now there's a resurgence in the Northeast, and then it's coming back as if we are starting afresh.
When you say, relentless pursuit, it seems that it's just a matter of strategy. Because I know recently we've seen the Nigerian army in their effort, to address this challenge. They've recorded some, operational successes quite recently. Yeah. So would you attribute that to a matter of strategy or the willpower to deal decisively with these bandits?
It's a matter of strategy. It's not the will, it's the strategy, whatever you plan to do. And it doesn't require too much effort. If you know what to do and what your strategic plan has said you should do. Now, in 2014, President Jonathan signed a document that said the armed forces will establish a unified command comprising Army, Navy, Air Force, and other branch of the security agencies to work under one command and be readily deployable to wherever help is needed. The Army, Navy, Air Force will still operate their traditional roles. That did not happen. Right. And since that time, until we go back to that approach and say, let's have unity of command, whereas the Air Force is not doing its own, outside the Army or Navy. We fought the Liberian-Sierra Leone wars, and when the field commander says something, it holds on everybody.
Right.
The Air Force will not do something different from the Army. We will not go out until the Army is ready to go.
Right. I need to quickly speak to the issue of the recent killing in Zamfara in an effort to address the situation, security situation there. But the Nigerian Air Force just initiated a fact-finding mission, following report of these incidents of casualties of civilians. But how crucial is transparency and accountability in such instances? And speak to the issue of what do we intend to do with these fact-finding mission? How effective can it be?
It can be very effective because that's the procedure. Once there's an accident, and this one is an accident, until the board, there's a procedure, there are steps to follow. Until the board comes out and decide otherwise, it's an accident which should be investigated. There are procedures you must follow. At the end of the day, they must come up with the findings and say, is it a man-made error caused by the man behind the machine? Is it the machine error? Is it intelligence failure? Is it something else we call act of God? So until then, whatever we are saying, we are assuming. But I want to say this, that no member of the armed forces will intentionally go and kill the citizens. It's not possible. It's not part of our training. We even went outside Nigeria and we never killed those citizens there. So how come? Because I hear some people saying the military want to destroy them. No, it's not possible. There are accidents which happen even everywhere in the world during different kind of wars, even among the first.
The reason why there have been, reactions to these incidents, particularly, is that this is not the first time it's happening, and of course we ask. You just asked the question whether it's the issue of accuracy of intelligence or not. But I just want to, because we know that the civilian casualty is a sensitive one in that matter, in other climes, very, very sensitive issue. But some critics, have argued that these incidents undermine public trust in the military. How do you think, from your experience, how do you think the military can balance the need for, decisive action against these groups with the imperative of protecting the lives of the innocent citizens within these local communities?
Yeah, I think the civil populace need to be enlightened more, because there are different factors that could lead to accidental attacks like this. It could be failure of intelligence. The intelligence may be delayed, it may not be accurate. Yes, it could be one of the reasons.
Right.
The next one is the equipment. It could even be the munition. Like the aircraft itself, we have settings that we set. Sometimes you set those settings and it gives you a different outcome. It is that investigation board that will determine what went wrong. Again, it could be weather, particularly when you are operating with unguided munitions. Guided or precision-guided munitions go directly to where you send them. But unguided one, you drop them and the wind blows them away. Who takes control? Is it the pilot? Because he has already released the weapon. The wind takes control, which the pilot has no control on. And he can take that weapon to a different place from what he intended to. And such accidents happen. Who do we blame? So you must give the military some consideration and a doubt and say maybe they didn't do it intentionally, but I assure you that they will never do it intentionally. So let's wait for the investigation board to come up with the real reasons. We heard of the drone attack in Kaduna State then. At the end of the day, what happened? The military investigated, and the army said 2 guys that were operating that thing are guilty and they will face court-martial. What else? The Air Force will do same. So we should give them better benefit of that and say, do your job, give us feedback.
Thank you so much for your time. Retired Air Commodore Balogun is also a security expert. Thank you for coming on News Night.